you ever wonder, let me show you the quick way that you can figure out your right from your left, just in case you ever can't really figure this out. If you look at your fingernails like this, and then you just hold your first finger and your thumb like this, whichever one makes an L, that's your left hand. All right? So, you know what's really sad? You know when I learned that? It was my senior year in high school, and we were sitting, hold on, this is even better. We're sitting in the room taking our ACTs, and someone, the instructor is giving us instructions, said, you need to do this with your left hand or right hand or whatever, because they give you strict instructions on how you're supposed to take this test. And someone in my class, in my grade, did that in front of everyone. They were confused, and then they did like this. Yeah, and then they were really excited that they found their left hand. It was hilarious. It was not me. It was not me. I did not do that. Pastor Austin, we're going to pull that. I just wanted it to be right here in the El Centro. Thanks, yo. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different because the message tonight is also a little bit different. So who left the jello up here still?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was completely somewhere else.
I was hoping to get another. All right.
Who ate it?
Hold on. For those of you that are freaking out, like, what is this? You can see this. I just want to let you know, like, my God is able to protect me from the food. At least I hope, because I think He'll only cover me for a certain amount of stupidity, and I might have already used up my grace for doing dumb things. Tonight, we can take this off now, that way it'll make it easier. Now that you got it. Tonight we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're hooked. Lift it up, Marcus. Show me your muscles. Lift it up. Lift it. There you go. Don't fall over. All right. Because tonight, as we get going, we are going to talk about dating. Is it on? Let me see. Yeah. All right. Woo. Almost fell down. But we're going to do it in a way that some of you will probably check out immediately. Because I started this last year, and I want to continue this year, because if you can just understand the thought process from me tonight, is that when it comes to this purity series, we're talking about being made to love. Last Wednesday night, I kind of laid the ground rules out for how Jesus said, what are the two most important relationships to have? And his first one was loving Him, having a relationship with Him, and then having a relationship with other people. And when we get those out of order, that's normally when we have problems. So tonight I want to help you. As your pastor, as someone who's old enough to be all of your fathers. As a father, I have 2 kids, and this is exactly what I will tell my kids as they get older. It's simply this. Just for tonight, I want you to think, just to open your brain up, to think about not dating until after high school. And I know some of you are like, well, PK, you too late for that, because I'm already, I got my man, he's sitting next to me. And if that's not you, because some of you already looked at me like, you seen his picture on Facebook? All right. And then for the guys, you don't really have attitude like that. You just roll your eyes at me and be like, whatever. So, just for a moment, just for the rest of the evening, give me your attention and just give me an opportunity to share with you from my heart. We're going to look at a few scriptures, and there's nothing biblical really about tonight that I can point to scripture and say, well, Jesus said, until you're out of high school, you shouldn't be. I can't do that. But as your pastor, seeing what I've seen, being here and hanging out with students your age, going through life myself, interacting with these volunteers who have lived a life and been in your shoes, I can share with you some wisdom. And that's exactly what this is. Whether you receive that or not is completely up to you, but give it an opportunity tonight to sink in. And if you can't do that, there's the door. Don't let it hit you as you walk out. So, as we start tonight, I just want to lay some groundwork out. So, Michael Williams, if you could come and take the stand real quick, I would appreciate that. I have a couple of questions for you. Let me find, where is Chris Hill? I know I saw Chris earlier. Chris graduated this year. Did Chris leave on me? I know I saw him. Chris, come here. You're gonna be the next person on the stand. And then, let me see, girl-wise, someone that we normally probably don't hear from as much. We'll get Lauren, if Lady Lauren would come and be ready to take the stand. Big Mike, if you go ahead and hop up there, I just have a couple of questions for you as it relates to dating. Because I think, hold on, wait, who drove? All right. I plead the fifth. The fifth already. Okay. So remember tonight, I just want you, it's going to be really hard, because part of this is going to be fun, it's going to be funny, but I still want you to stay with me. So, Big Mike, I'm also going to ask a couple of questions. It's going to be real easy. Okay. All right. I know you're a little nervous. There's no police in the room or anything like that. We're not checking warrants or nothing like that while we're doing this. All right. We do have our own youth watchmen on the wall, so if anything should go crazy, they will come. Thank you. You can't be on the same side. What if somebody comes from the other side? Come on now. All right. All right, Big Mike.
Yes.
Did you date while you were in high school?
Okay, straight.
Please answer the question.
Yes.
And while you were dating in high school, did you ever get into any trouble because of what you were doing while you were dating in high school? Is that 5 times, or are you trying to plead the fifth again? I didn't understand.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Did you ever find yourself in any trouble because of the dating choices that you made while you were in middle school or high school? Did you ever find yourself in any situations where you got in trouble?
Matter of fact,
yes. Just to answer the
yes.
question, that's all I need. Okay. All right. Now, did this ever happen to you? Did you ever? We'll save that for Lauren. We might ask another girl because that might be. All right. So, Big Mike, are there any relationships looking back through high school that you were like, man, I know a lot of times when people talk about, well, I don't regret anything because it made me who I am. But I think if we're honest with each other and we're honest with ourselves, like, we all have choices that I would take some back. Knowing what I know now, I would take 1 or 2 of them back. I could use a couple less pop knocks on my head from experiences. Are there any relationships that you wish, you know what, I probably shouldn't have gotten into while I was in middle school and or high school?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Mike, take a seat over here or back to the back. That's all I need. Just simply yes or no question. Will you please? No, you can go sit back down. Please state your name for the record.
Christopher.
All right. Every now and then, when I lose my mind, I do call you Christopher. It's really weird. And it happens.
Never respond.
No, you do not. And then I think, oh, I'm done. Your name is Christian. All right. So your name, once again, for the record, is what?
It's Christian.
All right. Christian Hill. All right, Christian. Have you dated in middle school, high school?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay. I'll take perhaps. I'll take perhaps. Now, nothing specific. I don't want, obviously you saw with Big Mike, it was just yes or no. It wasn't, you don't have to get into any details. Have you ever gotten into a relationship only to find out that the person you're in this relationship with is different than what they let on? Have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, so you've gotten into relationships with someone and you thought they were this person, but then found out they were this person. All right. Now, off the record, ladies, let me let you in on the little secret. Most guys, we already know y'all crazy, so you ain't hiding nothing from us. way to sit down. All right, hold on. Because that was, well, you can sit down too. All right. So check this out. Because that was, I mean, ladies, we do not, but guys, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that the girls probably already know that we idiots too. It does go both ways. Kristen, I appreciate that. All right. Now hold on, let me. All right. I might need one other person. Is Melissa Lockhart still in here? Melissa Lockhart, if you are in here, I'm going to need to call you to the stand also. All right. So, Chris, do you feel like? Let's see. Let me see where you're at. Oh, okay. Are there? Do you feel like you've missed out on anything? Like, did you make a choice to be with someone rather than do something else? Is there anything that you missed out on? Did you miss out on anything while you were dating someone, while you were in a relationship?
I missed out on a lot.
On a lot. All right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You may step down. Laura, please come and take a stand here. Lady Lauren, is that how I see? Okay. The jury's telling me I need to address you as Lady Lauren, so we will do that. All right. Lady Lauren, did you date when you were in high school?
I don't know if you really wanted me to come up, because actually I didn't. I didn't
All right.
date.
All right. Did not date while you were in high school.
I might be, I'm not bad.
Good luck. That's good. So while you were in, I have a couple of questions. Some of the same that were kind of around what we asked earlier. So in high school, did you ever miss out on anything because you were dating someone?
Nope.
Okay, so you got to do pretty much whatever you wanted. And so looking back on your high school, middle school career, shall we say, are there any relationships that you regret being in, like you wish you wouldn't have been in a relationship during that time?
I mean, I liked boys, and I regret never liking them, because most of them were. Yeah, like I wasn't going to marry them, so it's wrong.
Okay, now that leads me to my next question, which I'll probably ask you as well, because this applies. Now, are you the same person that you were when you were in high school?
No. I'm just like Lexi Wesley, wherever she is.
Okay.
I'm just like, love you, where is she?
She is. She's watching me.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So name just one way in which you have changed from high school to being married, graduating from college, whether it's what you wanted to do with your life, or who you thought you were, or anything like that. Maybe just one thing that's changed from high school to now, because you're 23? 23, so and from the span of 18 to 23, how do you feel? Just one thing that's changed for you in who you are.
Like physical or?
Anything.
Well, since then I met my husband, and if I had stayed with the boys that I'd liked at the time, I would have met him, and my life wouldn't have been as great.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, and you're more mature. All right. Melissa Lockhart, you are our next person to step inside the witness stand. Thank you very much. All right. Melissa, did you date while you were in high school?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Okay. Now, just a couple of quick questions. Did you ever have your heart broken while dating in high school, middle school?
Yes, I did.
And can you describe in just a few words maybe how did you feel during those moments, however long they lasted? How did you feel when your heart was broken?
Let's see. I mean, I don't know, I think devastated because whenever I dated in high school, people coupled up and you were like a couple and it was going to be. And so it was really devastating when anything happened. Yeah.
Okay, and so another question for you. Are you married to the person right now that you were dating when you were in high school?
No.
You are not? Okay, so the person you were dating in high school didn't end up being your spouse. Okay, and then just a random question. This may or may not have happened, but has there been any any baggage that you carried or that even Jay carried into your marriage because of previous relationships that you had had?
Yeah, there definitely has been. You know, whenever you're in a relationship and anything that happens, you have, you know, kind of carry that with you and think, I wonder if this person's going to, you know, be like that, or if they're going to have that trait, or if they're going to be honest or true or trustworthy or whatever.
All right, and I believe that's it. Thank you very much for taking a stand tonight. All right. So allow me to talk to you for a minute or two about not dating. Because as you've heard from various people, none of those people knew that I was going to talk to them tonight. And I honestly had no idea what answers I was going to get from them. What I want you to understand tonight is there are some things that you should be thinking about, and then I'm going to help you to see whether you want to clearly see them or not. But let me give you some reasons from me, from my heart, why you need to pay attention tonight and why you should at least contemplate not dating. You've heard from fellow students, former students, some young people just married, and an older than everybody else that was up here, someone that was experienced. And then you heard a single father talk about just their experiences. And so I want to give you some reasons, not in any particular order. I'm only going to spend a couple of minutes on each one. And the first one is simply this: time. Everybody look at your neighbor and say, time. You can say it in an English accent if you like. Time. Okay? All right. Now look back this way. If we went around the room, here's what I want you to think about. If we went around the room and I asked each and every one of you when you thought you would like to get married, I would probably get a lot of different answers, but I would almost guarantee, guys here on the front row, you are too close to me to be talking. So, the majority of you would probably say 5 years from now, 2 years from now, if you're maybe 17 or 18 and you think you want to get married at 19 or 20. If you're in middle school, I would imagine you're going to say something like 10 to 15 years, on and on, something around those things. Here's the thing. None of those answers are right now. But yet we rush into relationships as if we need something right now. And we treat dating relationships, we treat boyfriends and girlfriends as if we're in marriage relationships. We take crap from people that we shouldn't take crap from, and we put up with stuff that we shouldn't put up with, and we allow people to treat us ways that we shouldn't be treated, all because for some reason it's in our brain that we have to be in this relationship now, and it has to be forever, or at least a couple of months, whichever comes first. Because reality is we think in areas of time as if right now is forever. One thing that you guys are not able to do, not that I'm putting you down, but medically and scientifically, what happens in your brain is you're not able to contemplate the long haul when you make decisions. So when that guy that you've liked or that girl that you've liked wants to get in a relationship with you or wants to date you or wants to do whatever, your brain can't think, well, if I choose incorrectly here, this might set off a cataclysmic chain of events that will change my destiny forever. You can't think beyond, for real, you like me now? Okay. And that's how most of us run. That's how I responded. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have the ability to think into my 20s. I didn't have the ability to look at myself at 16, 17, and 18 and realize that I wasn't going to be the same person at 22, at 21, at 20 that I was in high school. And yet we rush into things and into relationships, and we grab on and hold on as if this is marriage, and it's not. The other thing with time is you need time to figure out you. Your brains, medically, scientifically, some of you with big brains and you like to know stuff, let me hook you up with some knowledge that you can know. Your brains don't cement your thought patterns, your decision-making patterns until your mid-20s. So you really haven't even, just in your brain, decided who you're going to be. Let alone the majority of us spiritually haven't figured out who God created us to be. And all we do when we haven't gotten that first relationship right, when we haven't gotten that relationship with God figured out so that we can begin to know who we are, when we bring someone else into the mix, we just mess stuff up. For me, and most of the time for them also. All because we haven't figured out who we are. We didn't take the time. You have time. You have more time than you think to figure you out before you have to figure out who you are with someone. And imagine just this. What if the time that you gave to somebody else, you gave to God? Or you gave to a passion that God has placed inside you? What could you do for Him? Oh, Pastor Kevin, I'm not really sure. I'm only 14. I'm only 16. I don't really know what I could really do. I think I want to do this. Well, let me tell you, there are stories in the Bible of people and students and young people that are your age and younger that did amazingly incredible things for God because they gave Him their time. The second thing I want you to remember is, as we look at not dating, is this. If you choose to not date, I can almost guarantee there is no relationship drama that you will have to experience. There's not going to be that day when you wake up and suddenly there's not a good morning text anymore. And you spend your entire morning, instead of brushing your teeth and your hair, running around frantically texting all of your friends and Instagramming your pictures of concerned looks and all this stuff. What is my day going to be like? How am I going to go? I didn't get a good morning text. Exactly. Why didn't they text? I texted them good night. Why didn't they text me good morning? If you choose to not date, if you choose for your middle school, your high school years to be a no dating zone, I can almost guarantee you that you will relieve yourself of this dating and relationship drama that happens and has happened to you at times, has happened to your friends, and you've seen maybe happen even to your siblings. So, if it's too much, you can walk out the door, Hunter. You see, we get all wrapped up, and drama follows us in relationships. Because no matter how great it starts, ladies, we as guys, we're idiots. And guys, and girls is crazy. And they hide it. Shh, you ain't got to clap, because we all already did all that, and we know that that's the truth. So when the crazy shows up, or when the dumb part of us shows up, you shouldn't be as surprised, because I'm telling you this right now. But when it does show up, then the drama just... And we respond out of the hurt and anger and bitterness and whatever is inside of us from this. But yesterday, you were the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I've never been more in love in my life. This is 3 months, baby. Me and you against the world. And suddenly my Facebook status changed to it's complicated. And then it can be stuff like, hold on. It can be things like, I wish someone would love me like I love them. It can say things like, I wish someone would simply care about me the way I care about them, or I wish that my heart wasn't always being broken. Our Facebook statuses, our tweets, our Instagram pictures, all of what we tell our friends is wrapped around this emotion and drama that is experienced during relationships. And I could go and pull up some of your Facebook statuses right now and show you. And I don't want to do that because that's not going to win me anything. But I just want you to know that emotions aren't bad, but when you are controlled and constantly are reacting out of your emotions, Pastor Austin talked about being drunk in love a few weeks ago. And you make bad mistakes like Samson did when you are led and driven by your emotions. And you don't stop and think, you don't listen to anyone else. You know, the things that you can avoid when it comes to the drama in your life are things simple like you can avoid being rejected because someone doesn't like something about you. Maybe you don't measure up to their idea of what beautiful is, or what fine is, or what a 10 is, or maybe in your mind you have John Legend playing over and over, and those perfect imperfections see, here's the problem. See, some of y'all lost your mind right there just when I mentioned the song, and that's what messes you up in relationships.
Hey.
Because you got this fantasy world in your mind that right now there's going to be a boyfriend, a girlfriend that I can give all of me to, and they're going to give me all of them, and it's going to be like this. And I'm telling you right now, you heard it from people right here, that's not the way it ends up. 9 times out of 10, that's not how it ends up. The average relationship in high school lasts 6 to 8 weeks. Some of you have been in relationships longer. And that's okay. Where's my man Steven at? Steven, come lace me a little bit. You see, some of us have experienced feelings of worthlessness because someone decided to break up with us. We've been devastated before because someone has told us that we don't measure up any longer. Yesterday you were adequate, today you are inadequate. And they treated your heart, you gave it to them, you trusted them with it, and they simply just juggled it until they got tired of it and they let it hit the floor and simply walked away. Because it never really mattered to them. So can I tell you that if you're not dating right now, that these are some things that you can avoid. Teenage depression over heartbreak in relationships. I can tell you this, that there's less of a chance of you losing who you are if you're not into a relationship. Because if we went around the room and I asked you guys, you know, hey, have you ever had a friend that you guys were really, really close and then they got into a relationship and then you very rarely saw them and, man, you're probably not even friends anymore. Has that ever happened? I bet that you could name names of people, and you could even say, you know what, man, I did that. I did that to my friends. And suddenly you lost your identity because you were trapped in this relationship, and maybe not trapped is the right word, but you chose to be in a relationship that maybe started out good, but in the end, every decision you made was based on someone else. Hey, can I go to church tonight? Are you going to be there? If you're not going to go, I'm not going to go. Are you going to go? Are you going to go to the ARC event? If you're not going, I'm going to go. Are you gonna do this? Because if you're not there, I'm not going to go. And suddenly, it's not a me, it's a we. So early on. And some of you have lost your passion, your dreams, due to someone else's lack of having a dream. Some of you have allowed ambitionless people to get a hold of your heart, and they have made you ambitionless. You used to want to do stuff. Now you don't want to do nothing. Well, they don't want to do nothing. Now I see where you get it. And you've lost who you are. And there's danger in that. There's danger in losing the person that God created you to be to settle for a copy of something that someone else wants you to be. Because truthfully, almost all of us that have been in relationships have adapted to someone else simply because we wanted to be needed and loved. We wanted to be liked. We wanted that good morning text. We wanted someone to care. But if just for the last couple of minutes, if I could share with you from my heart as a father. So 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And man, I'm laying groundwork now. You ask my daughter who her boyfriend is. And I hope and I pray, because I've worked on this, that she says it's my dad. Because she's not allowed to have any other boyfriends until I tell her she can. Which may be never. Because that's my baby. My job as her father, as Jordan's father, is to protect, correct, and direct. And some of you haven't had that. Some of you haven't had that father stand up and say, you know what? That's not, that don't happen here. Some of you haven't had that father to grab you and look you in your face and tell you you're the most beautiful girl in the world. So when a boy comes along and does it, your heart melts because you've been waiting and longing for someone to do that. Some of you guys have never had a father come and tell you how to be a man and how to treat a woman with respect. And so you just do what you see other people do. You don't know any better. I'm telling you not to date, not because I want to keep you from something, but because I want to protect you for as long as I can. I want to protect my kids from heartache and heartbreak because I don't know what I'll do if Alexa comes home and says, with tears running down her face, Daddy told me I was ugly and he doesn't like me anymore. The boy will get hurt. I'm telling you up front. And I might have to enlist some of your younger brothers and sisters to do the hurting because I'm not going to go to jail for beating up a little kid. Now I might, because I have mean mugged a 3rd grader already this year for messing with my daughter. Oh yeah, it's real. Just as a side, he bumped Alexa one day, right? And I'm standing right there. And the teacher made him apologize. He didn't want to apologize, so I stood behind her like this. He said, I'm sorry after that. All right, let me get back. My heart is this. My heart is this. That ultimately, you will find the greatest relationship of your life to be that with Jesus Christ. That's what I pray over my kids. That's what I pray for my daughter and for my son. I pray that they will love God with all that they have, and that they'll find someone that loves God more than they love them. Because if they love my daughter more than they love God, it ain't gonna work. And if you're loving someone more than you love God, it ain't gonna work. It may work for a little while. But when you begin to sacrifice your relationship for something else, it will be lost. When you sacrifice God for a person, you can almost guarantee that that will be lost. I want you to not date so that you don't have to experience some of these ups and downs, so that you don't have to go through some of the stuff that I went through, and some of the stuff that I put girls through, and some of the stuff that these older ladies have been through, and some of the stuff that you've already been through. I don't want you to experience that anymore. I want you to not date. Not so that you can be alone, but so that you can experience who God created you to be, so that you can find yourself. Because that is more rewarding than finding someone who likes you. Tonight's a little bit different. I'm going to have an altar call. I'm not going to ask you to take a pledge to not date or anything like that. Tonight, I just hope that you would listen. That you would hear me, hear my heart, and know that, man, I love you guys. I don't want to have conversations about how your heart hurts and how I thought this was going to be it and it wasn't. And Pastor Kevin, now I don't want to see them anymore. I don't want to come to church because I might bump into. I don't want you to experience any of that. I simply want your greatest relationship to be with Jesus, just like I want for Alexa and Jordan. Next week, or next Sunday, this coming Sunday, Pastor Austin is going to talk to you about dating, because I know that some of you are in relationships now. Some of you, no matter what I tell you, I can tell you right now that, you know what, from where I'm standing, you're headed down a road that's going to end in heartbreak. You're like, whatever, Pastor Kevin, you can't have me. So, Pastor Austin is going to talk to you about dating on Sunday. Because some of you will try to navigate this by yourself. Some of you are already trying to do it by yourself, and you are already failing or have the potential to. So I want to set those of you who are going to ignore me tonight, I want to set you up with how you can maybe protect yourself as you go forward. And think of it like this. Either way it goes, as I'm telling you not today, as Pastor Austin is going to give you some framework, some things to think about when it comes to dating. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been walking somewhere with a friend, and maybe that friend is behind you or in front of you, and all of a sudden they yell at you to stop, don't move, stay still? Has that ever happened to anybody? And most of the time we want to know why immediately, because some of us are deathly afraid of certain things, right? And so we want to know, is there a bug, a spider, a snake? Getting ready to, because bugs and spiders are two different things. You might be afraid of bugs and not afraid of spiders, or you might be afraid of spiders and not bugs. But so we want to know what's going on. And your friend's just saying, no, don't move, trust me, I got to do this. Tonight and Sunday, whether or not you can see it, just listen to Pastor Austin and myself. Because sometimes we can see things from where we're at that you might not be able to. And even though you don't get why I'm yelling at you to not date, and why we're telling you to stop, wait, don't move, don't do anything, even though if you can't see, we can. So allow us to help you out. Because I got some scars and some bumps on my head that you don't need. All right? Let's pray. Jesus, don't clap while we pray. Jesus. Jesus, forgive the clapper. They clapped early. And the people who don't and can't control their bodies while we pray. But God, I just pray that tonight, Lord, that our hearts would have just been open maybe to focusing on you, to remembering that the greatest commandment that you gave us was to love you with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and that we would do all that we can to do that before we try to love our neighbor as ourselves. Before we try to love others, God, we need to figure out loving you. God, thank you for all of these students here. I pray that you would keep them safe. I pray that there will be no more snow days so that they can get out and not have to go year-round school. In Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. Thanks, guys, for being here. Yes, sir. Wait, if you are supposed to film your Kill My Vibe testimony tonight, you can meet Pastor Wilson up here at the witness stand.
How come you didn't have to go up there and follow? How do you think this would
Hey, real good. I see you, bro. Straight up. Go ahead.